All right, Hero Misery. Hero Misery is going to be a running series. I don't know how often we're going to do it, but we're going to do it off and on. So Hero Misery is going to be an educational project where we have Phil pick a character that you feel can be countered. We're going to play the character in a pug versus as many hard counters or soft counters or bad matchups. Like, we're going to throw a lot of crap your way. We're going to have the player try to adapt, adjust to play versus the counters, succeed and fail. Then we're going to pull up the replay code and we're going to coach that person and talk about all the things that they did well, things that they could do better to be able to demonstrate exactly what you can do if you're faced with a similar circumstance. Okay, so these are the rules. Rules are Team Blue with the Winston. You must play Winston. You must not swap off of Winston. Supports for Team Blue. You can play whatever you'd like as long as there's some form of range support, whether that be Ana, whether that be Juno, or Kiriko. You must play one of those characters at all times. The other support, I don't care. We're trying to make it so that it is not totally stacked, but very, very difficult. DPS for Team Blue, you play whatever you want. I don't care. I literally don't care. You swap whatever you want, swap whenever you want. I don't care. Team Red, you must play Roadhog. You must play Torbjorn, and you must play Bastion. You must play those heroes at all times. You do not need to, and you should not necessarily go out of your way to chase or punish Winston. It will often be a very available target. That's the nature of Winston, but you just need to play your game. Play those heroes, just play the game. Team Red supports, you play also whatever you want. You don't necessarily need to counter the Winston. You just play what you're good at and what you feel like playing. Your job is not to prove a point, Team Red. Whether you win or whether you lose, you full hold or get full capped, there will be lessons learned here. You don't need to perform. Do not communicate. Do not strategize. This is a solo queue ranked game. Nobody's talking. We're just playing. And that goes for both teams. Uxel, do not try to perform. Do your best to play around your counters and provide value as best as you know how. And if you fail miserably, it's not your fault. This is a situation where you probably should swap as Winston. Whatever you do, you're going to get a lot of value out of this here. All right, let's go. How is Uxel going to do? So the big thing with Winston is you have bursts of value around your bubble. You have high mobility, which allows you to stage for squishy targets. However, versus a Roadhog, Torbjorn, and Bastion, the difficulty is that not only can they quickly punish you in your bubble, but also that Torbjorn especially can poke you out as you're trying to take angles. So not only are you under threat once you dove, but even before you dove, you're getting pressured. That's the challenge. So the question here is, how good will Blue do at supporting their Winston to be able to take the stage? How will Uxel play around his team support? Because when you're playing Winston versus these characters, you're not getting kills. You're just not. Almost ever, at least early in fights. You're forcing vapes and overloads from Torbjorns and turret forms and nades and armor packs to allow your team to capitalize off of that. It is not a very engaging and fun playstyle, but you can win games with it. On this map, first and second point will have verticality, which will help Winston to stage. Third point will be a little bit more compressed, which means it's going to be very, very difficult. Let's see how Uxel does. We're going to look from third person while watching and first person while VOD reviewing afterwards. Brigitte, Ana, Bastion, Torbjorn. This is tough. This is tough. He cannot get hooked. He needs to avoid Torbjorn poke and Roadhog hook. I don't love how he's stuffing here. I appreciate him trading to assist his tracer, and he is getting decent value here, but he's relying off of his backline's follow-up here, and I don't know if that was worth the bubble. Ends up working out, though. See, this is where Winston's going to feel pretty good. I wonder how the attack will feel, though. Let's see how he does. Uh-oh. 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 That's a hook right there. A lot of Torbjorn pressure there. He doesn't have overload, though, so that... Oh. Now, I will say, this backline for Winston is pretty good. You have a lot of pressure onto their front line. Ashe has a good matchup versus Torbjorn and Bastion, which is very important. Xin has a good matchup versus Torbjorn, Bastion, and Roadhog, which is very good. So the good thing here for Uxel is that while he is being hard countered here, his backline is hard countering the enemy backline. So if he plays around his backline, he's going to do well. And see, this is often how it works. If you hard counter the Winston, are you hard countering his backline? And the answer is usually no. You got a lot of poke here and a lot of really bad characters versus poke. Brigitte, Bastion, Torbjorn, Roadhog. These characters take a lot of damage. And right now, Uxel's backline is doing a really good job putting out pressure consistently. He overextends a little bit there, he gets punished. Torbjorn, or Bastion, ult is used, or turret is used. Rip Claw is gonna die. He doesn't. Trance is used. Ult is used. Hog should die here. And Hog does die here. Yes, that will die. And so far, not a bad start for blue. But this is the best case scenario here. They're holding space. They're getting ults. They're getting trades. We'll see how this evolves. Not a great trade for Uxel. He's going to have to give up space. Very early rally used from red. They will get space off of that. Uxel cannot get hooked. He doesn't. But the backline's putting a lot of pressure onto both the Roadhog and the Brigitte. The Nano is used onto the Roadhog, and rally is killed. Again, the backline's the real carry here. Uxel overextends. Uxel overextends. Not enough follow-up from his backline there. That's a huge hook, and this will probably be the cap that we were looking for here. Everything revolves around Frosty Dog and who are you right now. If they can shoot, the target will die. If they cannot shoot, the target will not die. So even this kind of pressure here from Uxel, that bubble there, very bad. Very bad. Very bad. Not near enough follow-up because the Ana, or the Zen, Juno, Sojourn could not follow up. They need to take high ground here. They need to set up. They need to stage. There's just not near enough pressure on the backline from either the backline of blue or from the front lane either. Primal's going to be used here, but it's not going to matter. Right, so this is where you're going to be told to swap. Exactly. Sojourn could turn this, but it needs to be used quickly. There's a turret for him. Uxel's dead. Kitsune Rush is going to confirm it. Genji swap. I think the Genji swap's pretty good here. It's much better on this map. Now, this point of the map is a lot harder for Winston, we'll also say. There is some verticality, but it's much narrower. So it's harder to avoid the Torbjorn. It's harder to avoid the Bastion. It's harder to avoid the Roadhog. That's a bad bubble. That's a bad bubble. They're going to have to give up space now. Uxel really needs to be utilizing the verticality of this space here to go for backline. He's going to die for this. He's going to die for this. Yep. There's just no follow-up. You see, there's no follow-up from his backline, even on the Roadhog. Like, you can isolate Roadhog. Your Zen and Juno can melt Roadhog if you cut off the follow-up. But, yeah. Widow is a good swap here, too, as well. I like who are you swaps. I think he is making a lot of good swaps for the point, right? Sojourn, the Ashe, I believe, earlier. The Widow for third point. It's a nice long sight line. So Uxel is getting some good DPS help, at least with the swaps that his team is playing. You know, again, what are the... Again, forcing aggression through the choke. It's not good. The backline, the Widow doesn't have an angle through that corner. The Zen doesn't have an angle. The Juno doesn't have an angle. So there's been some good, there's been some bad. This is exactly what we wanted for this project. Good and bad, done by Uxel and his team. Huge. Huge. Holdable. Holdable. This Widow angle is brutal. The Kitsune should be used here. It will be used now. Should be used now. The Kitsune is a little late. No hook. Molten Core is used. A lot of space being created with that. But they might C9 here. Nope. Uxel is going for backline. They have to worry about carts, so they can't peel off the Winston. Who's going to hit the shots? No, does he hit the nade? He does hit the nade. The turret is still killing people. No way. 1 HP. 1 HP, 14 HP Widowmaker holds it and dies the turret. Beautiful. It's poetry. It's cinema. Absolute cinema we've got here. What a beaut. What a beaut. All right, now this is where things get hard for Winston team. Because backline's stuck in the choke. You can't see Jack. You can't even see the Roadhog half the time because if Electrizier plays it correctly, the backline's going to have to walk into the open to shoot the Roadhog. It's going to be hard. It's going to be hard. So we'll take a look here. You're playing so bad? No, it's all right, Sirly. We just want it like... Oh no, I just smacked beef everywhere. Bubble's already forced here, and he's still got turret in the back pocket. Widow swap is interesting. It's not bad, but you see the problem is like, look at that pressure from the Torb onto the Bastion there, or onto the Winston there. If he gets supported, like that's tough. There's the turret. Oh my gosh, the pressure on choke. I love the setup from Uxel though. The Suzu's a bit late. Blue beam stand punished. Winston's on the backline chat. This is working out. Uh-oh. Not a good bubble. Well, it's not a bad bubble. He got some pressure on a Torb. He needs to get out. He's committing on the kill. That's probably not gonna work. Ah! Oh, 9 days! Oh, the hook is missed! The hook is missed! Oh, the nade is huge. He should be dead. He should be dead. Yes. Genji swap as well. So, I'm going to be honest with you guys here. You may not have this exact same experience in ranked because I do think Team Blue's composition is fairly decent here. So, Uxel's getting a little bit lucky here. We don't always have the same level of value here. Because again, this back line, this DPS line, this support line feels really good versus what Team Red has. Try with Mercy Lifeweaver. Unironically, could have a lot worse of a support lineup. Lifeweaver can heal Winston from range. Mercy can damage boost one of your backliners. Double support ult. They need a kill now. They need a kill in the next 5 seconds. Otherwise, this is going to be a huge problem. Yes, okay, they're good. They're good. They needed that kill badly. Yeah, blue team is angle maxing. You can tell these guys are the Spilo viewers. And that's huge value for Uxel. Because if Uxel's backline doesn't take that space, Uxel struggles immensely. Sojourn on the top as well, already being supported by Juno. We love to see it, or at least it will be momentarily. Early death? Oh no, they're not going to be able to stop this from crossing here. They're going to have to give up. They're going to have to give this up. That's a bad bash Winston ult. He's just going to lose the exact space. So Primal is used. It does keep him alive. I feel like he could have gotten punished there more, but he didn't. The sleep dart on a Torbjorn. The heal onto Saralee. I don't think there's enough follow-up off of this dive here. There is. Electrolyzer is isolated. Torbjorn's on top. He does have overload. So he's forced out. Aster is isolated. He should have sleep dart here. Bastion ult's used early. That Widow might be in trouble. That Widow might be in trouble. Torbjorn doesn't have help. Torbjorn doesn't have help. Trade happens.
This ends now.
Sojourn is used. She is supported. Can they get the kill on Hog? They need that kill on Hog. He is isolated. They don't quite get it. Aster's 1-0 with a sleep. Saralee's dead. Oh no, Saralee's out. Trance is forced. Saralee has the high ground here. It's all on Saralee and who are you? Who are you is dead. Uxel basically has to AFK. That little bit of pressure there that he took lost him so much HP. He should have disengaged. Saralee, what a shot. Wow. Hog is isolated here. Now remember, guys, as good as this may go, if Red plays their cards right. Oh, that is disgusting. Are they going to C9? No. Frosty Dog should die. Frosty Dog should die. Saralee has to carry this. Saralee is popping off. There's a lot of damage there from both the Echo and the Sojourn. Can they keep the Hog up? That should be a hold. Remember, guys, even if they make this cap here, it only should, on paper, get harder on third point. They've only got a minute. Can they keep the Echo up? They can. Hog, that's Suzu. That's a Roadhog copy. That's a Trance. Can they get space out of this? They can. They catch the Bastion. He doesn't have bow. He does have bow. He's won. Oh my gosh. Great angle from Saralee there. Wow. Incredible. Can they? They should be okay. They should be okay. Nice. Yep. Okay. All right, guys. This is going down to the wire. 2 minutes left. A bit of an ult bank from Team Red stacking up, and crucially, the hardest portion of the map for Winston to function. And to, like, especially this section of the map, it's all in. It's really all in right here. So let's see what happens. Roadhog is overextended. Oh, they're gonna commit. They're gonna commit. Oh, they're gonna catch that. That is brutal. Uxel's dead. Uxel should be dead. No. He doesn't have turret. He doesn't have turret. Blue Beam Stamina is getting the backup, or not getting the backup from his team. And Blue is getting the backup for the backline. Chat, this might be it. And you notice how much in this VOD review we have not talked about Uxel popping off. It's been Team Red's backline, the DPS and the supports, and that's really all you need to know about this matchup. Incredible. They did it. They did it. Let's take a look at this replay code. Let's see what we can learn. GG's. Thank you guys for stepping up. Let's take a look here. So, Uxel, are you here? Uxel, did you have fun? Did you have fun? Did you have fun, Uxel? Talk me through your mindset. A little bit? A little bit. All right. So this is how Winston is played. We talked about it earlier. Finding cycles of distraction value on backline, when and where your team can follow up. So when you're playing Winston versus hard counters, these counters can do a lot of damage to you, like Torbjorn, Roadhog, Bastion, and so on. But not only that, they can also poke you out to do damage to you while you're looking to set up on the backline. Because Winston has 2 cycles. He has his setup, getting ready to jump, where he doesn't do any poke damage, so you can shoot him in the face a lot. And then he has his dive commit, And that's where usually a lot of people get punished, right? The bash and turret form, the hook, and so on, right? So Oxel really, really needs to find times and places where a dive on backline has follow-up from his team. So even if they all focus him and he dies, there's follow-up from Ashe or follow-up from Zenyatta and Juno. And as we already established here, the backline from blue is pretty good. There's a lot of damage here onto the Roadhog, Torbjorn, Bastion. But that's important to remember. If they counterpick you as a tank, they might not be counterpicking your team. And if you can play around what your team can and can't do, depending on their positioning, you can win games, even playing into counters. Now, to be very clear, if I was playing this, coaching this person, I would advise them, them to swap. I don't think playing into 2 hard counters makes a lot of sense. I think you can make it work on 1 hard counter on a good map. But if it's a bad map, a bunch of soft counters, you should probably swap. But I guess this goes to prove that in the ideal circumstances versus less than ideal enemies, you could still make it work. Okay, let's take a look here. So big thing here is like, this is where Winston needs to let them here. If you let them walk into here and then contest them on the tank line or the back line, Juno, Ashe, Zenyatta, Tracer can do full damage. If you contest them here, your teammates cannot do damage and then you will die. The vast majority, I would go as far to say that 60-70% of mistakes with playing tanks into counters is not capitalizing off of your team's follow-up by choosing fights in good locations. That's half of playing versus counters, is choosing fights in good locations. The other half, most of the time, is forcing the trades into your counters. Roadhog, get the frick away from him. Bastion, stay away if he doesn't have turret form, or if he does have turret form. But people aren't very good at that. And that's why a lot of people struggle versus counters. So this, for example, right here, we're gonna let things kind of play out here. I really don't want to see Winston walking in towards here, because there just isn't a lot of follow-up here. Now, when the Torbjorn walks here, it's fine, but there isn't any follow-up here. So if this Winston gets bubble forced here, and you see he's even lost a lot of his armor, this is a mistake. I honestly would be okay with Uxel hiding here, listening, and maybe even flanking and rotating to here. Let them come in. See, this here is interesting, because yes, there is Tracer follow-up, but honestly, there's nobody else can shoot this. Nobody else can shoot this. In fact, nobody else can shoot anything on the enemy team. And so I don't like this. And I think here as well, if there'd been a little bit more punishment from backline here, I don't know what exactly would happen from red team's backline here. Yeah, so did you notice? Oh my gosh, look. Oh my gosh, who are you? You are the GOAT, because who are you? Just saved her Winston. Did you see that? So notice what who are you did. Winston walks forward, but who are you is controlling backline and not letting the fallout. Monstrous dynamite there. Yes, I mean it. You are the GOAT. This is what saves Uxel here. So Uxel gets very fortunate that his Ashe knows how to take space. And that's why you got to be really attentive to where your backline's setting up. Incredible. Incredible. You just saved your Winston's life. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. Beautiful job. You're the greatest. Incredible, incredible work right here. But notice that she had to save her Winston's mistake. And so, Uxel, this is still, we needed to clean this up. You needed to let them come in a little bit better, because that was not where your Ashe was initially. She had to rotate there. You got very lucky. You could have cheeky angle on their Torbjorn as well. That's true. So you were still, oh yeah, that's true. Look at this, look at this, look at this. So every single time I'm like, man, how did Uxel not get punished? It's because of the backline. Look at that. Bam, 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 right? Beautiful. So again, we're beating up on Uxel here, but Uxel is a great Winston player. This is just a very, very, very difficult situation. So all the criticisms we're giving to Uxel, big shout out to Uxel for putting himself out here so that you guys can learn. Good. Don't peek. Don't peek. You don't have bubble yet. You don't have bubble yet. And certainly don't drop a bubble on tank line here. This is where we needed to drop bubble on backline here with our backline able to follow up. It ends up being kind of okay. But then, yeah, we force our jump again. I think we think that we're going to get primal. But yeah, there it is. You guys seeing it? It's like poetry. We could predict exactly what's going to happen a lot of the time based off of whether my backline can follow up or not. Oh, yeah. That's good. Landed right on the squishies. Look at that. Pretty good trade. Landed with bubble. Our backline's there. Follow up from my team. Woo! How low did Uxel get? Was it 20? 3! He dropped a 3! 3 HP! 3! My goodness! Let them come in first. Let them come in first. And or set up. Nope. That's how you get hooked. That's how you get your head blown off, or you get hooked and you get your bubble forced. I like the hook block here. But really, again, our angle from our Ashe, Juno, Zen isn't great. It just needs to be like here, right? So, you know, here as Winston, or sitting here as Winston on this corner, and then maybe flanking around behind. Okay, this is a tough point. Again, this is not the play. You don't have bubble here. You can't do anything. And you know where that Roadhog match is going to be. Start to set up behind. You might as well wait because you're down bubble anyway. This is such a reason. Like, let them come into the jaws of your backline. Meanwhile, you clamp them from behind. You get it? Even with Primal here, it's not good. Look how much damage we took. You see that? This should have been a full HP bubble directly onto a Bastion or a Torbjorn or an Ana or on the Brig, right? And that's it, right? We force a bad engagement. It's not as good of a good setup. And so we end up losing this fight as a result. It is a team game. You must play around where and when your team can assist you. See, this is an interesting moment. Do I go for the Bastion Hog or do I go for the Torbjorn? Not really good option here, but probably go for the Torbjorn. Yes. And so now, look at the response. 1, 2 people back up. Torbjorn uses ult. We use Nano. Look at the space that this Winston's creating. Look at how... You guys know how awkward it is to get out of this choke. But not when Oxel, with Bubble, with Primal, has a sick jump. Look at this. Look at the space. Look at the Sojourn positioning. Look at the Juno positioning. Look at the Tracer positioning. And all Oxel needs to do now is live. Just disengage. I don't even like this. Just jump out or jump over here. Just jump away. Don't jump in. Even with Primal. You see that? But that being said, I mean, look at the space. Look at how much more space that we have to shoot people. I want to look at... Let's take a look at the attack here. So we're not going to watch the whole map here before we go into our next episode of Hero Misery. So how is our Winston going to time his engage? Where is our Winston going to time his engage? I can tell you this much. You don't want to trade here. You might have to let the Roadhog hook your backline. You might have to. You just cannot take this trade. You must contest the backline. You must look for a flank to go around. You must split the enemy team's focus. That's the plan. Yes. Don't peek. Don't peek. You don't have jump. You don't have poke. Don't peek. Is my backline ready? Looks like it, yes. Whoop. Now we have a choice. Do we bubble trade this? Or do we jump and bubble trade this? Yes, that's exactly it, Poop Kip. But see, that's the thing, guys. That's the thing. When you counter Winston, you expose yourself to also being countered. A lot of the counter watch characters like Orisa and Roadhog, Torbjorn, Bastion, and so on are also very easy to counter with your backline. I don't like this as much because I do think we had the opportunity to go for the Kirikou. You might be like, well, she's just going to TP away. Okay, good. Then save your bubble and then go for another trade, right? But this isn't too bad. Our backline is engaged right now. They got the better of the trade, but this is okay. Stay away. Stay away. You don't have bubble. There's another target. Stay away. Good. Good. Force the Kirikou out. Kirikou's there. Now we don't even need to use our jump. We're already on her. In fact, we could have pursued. Oh, wait, that's a turn. We could have pursued here. But yeah, this isn't too bad. Surprised you looked away there because he dropped to like 10 HP. And now we're just dead. We should get out. We should get out. We should get out. Oh, that's better. We're too low in HP, but it's a good jump. It's a good jump. You just needed to be higher in HP. That's it. Let's see what happens here. I think this is just backline carry, really. Yeah, backline carry. Okay, let's take a look at this here. I think we have a bit of a juicer coming up here, if I remember correctly. I want to look for one particular fight. Is our backline engaged here? Yes, it's not a very good bubble in terms of us bubble dancing. Like, we need to be outside of this bubble now, but there is follow-up here, so this should be okay. Right, so look at the Hog's HP. Our HP melts, but so does Hog. So does Bastion. You see that? Can our backline do anything about this here, chat? No. So we should really be careful about pursuing here. I know we have Primal, so it's okay now, but be very careful. Now, the question is our backline shooting anything else? Kind of, but we got to be careful. Okay? Don't have bubble. Careful. Don't have bubble. Careful. Don't have bubble. Careful. She has sleep dart. She should have nailed you right there. . Notice we're repeating the same things over and over again. Don't. No. Not Hog. So we keep going back to help our team with Hog, and it's costing us a lot of HP. And it also means that we're missing opportunities to pressure backline here. I think this was the moment right here. I want to see it. Here it comes. Wait. Trance. Either jump or don't peek. Stop poking. Stop poking, mate. Stop poking. Good. Oh, this is it, I think. I think this is it. All right, go for backline. No! Go on the backline. Go on the backline. A bubble trade here is so much more valuable for forcing cooldowns. No! You force the split. This is just not a good trade here. You force a little bit of vape, but that's about it. Oh, yeah, this is it right here. And now you don't have bubble. Now you don't have high ground. Now you don't have a bubble, so you can't do this. And on that note, we'll end there. So, main points for Uxel and for Winston players everywhere versus counters. You must, number one, know where your backline is, and then choose your engagement positions around where your backline can see you. Even if your backline doesn't have Zen and Sojourn and all this damage, even if it's just a freaking Lucio or a Reaper or whatever, you play your angles and positions around where your backline is. Number two, avoid your hard counters. Try to take trades with characters that are less hard counters, even if it's a Torbjorn, Kiriko, whatever. Number three, when you don't have bubble, stop peeking. When you do have bubble, stop peeking. Don't peek and poke versus characters that can blow your head off. And number four, when you do have bubble, look for an angle for a setup or an engage. When you don't have bubble, do not engage. Instead, set up for your next engage so that when you have bubble, you're ready to go. So play around the cycle of your bubbles, check your backline's positioning, look for more favorable trades, and don't freaking poke with your alt fire against characters that blow your head off. Now, the funny thing about all this is we're framing this like how to play Winston versus counters. But if any of you guys have seen any of my Winston coaching before, that's how you play Winston versus everything. That's just playing Winston, period. Any questions here? Why am I so charismatic? Crack cocaine.